Hunting is a vital part of Monster Hunter. No matter what armor you are wearing or how much you prepare for a hunt, you cannot get that quest clear without knowing how to fight. The Hunter genre is not a casual type of game where the expectation is to win. You have to earn every win, using knowledge of the game and semi-decent reflexes. And this is a guide on how to do all of that. Let's get into it. There are a plethora of guides for all of the combos for each weapon. This video will be far too long to cover every single weapon and how to use them optimally, so I will link guides down below. In general, you need to practice your basic damage combos, maintenance combos, and reaction combos. Damage combos, I'll put the most damage whenever the monster is open to attack by picking and choosing the best hit zone, resulting in optimal damage. There are quick damage combos which have a wide range of uses, and lengthy combos requiring the monster to be down to use safely. Maintenance combos are any combo line that activates or maintains a buff for your weapon. Think Red Shield Charge, Spirit Gauge, Hammer Charge, or any of the Hunting Horn song buffs. You want these buffs active as much as possible to maximize your damage mathematically. Reaction combos use any form of defensive option consisting of evades, super armor, iframes, counters, and guard points, as well as the optimal follow-ups for these options. You will practice your timing for your inputs with incoming attacks of monsters and projectiles. The training room with Toversary will be the best place to practice since you will not have to deal with having to track down the monster and any unwanted attacks. You can toggle through the various settings to practice specific situations. Once you have your combos down, dive into some easy hunts. What you should focus on is rotating through your combos without messing any of them up. Your combo rotation starts with the maintenance combo to activate your buffs, followed by the damage combo to inflict maximum hurt on the monster. Switching to the reaction combo if the monster attacks you and your particular weapon can respond to that attack. You loop back to maintenance combos when your buffs run out of gas, rinse and repeat. Your goal is to make the combo rotation of your weapon second nature. Once you have that mastered, you can move on. The next step is to develop game sense. Learning your weapon is half of the hunt. You need to learn the patterns of battle, knowing what your weapon can do, and using those tools to deal with the given monster enables you to exploit that monster's weaknesses. It makes hunting much easier in the long run, but it allows you to adapt to new monsters without having to gather as much experience. To some extent, Monster Hunter is a fighting game, so I will treat it like one. There are 3 states of a hunt, being in neutral, advantage, and disadvantage. The neutral state is when both you and the monster are standing up, slugging each other, and neither of you are faltering. Advantage is whenever you knock the monster down, and disadvantage is whenever the monster knocks you down. You are fighting an uphill battle since all it takes for you to enter disadvantage is 1 hit, while the monster can take several before it goes down. A good hunter will try to maintain neutral or advantage as much as possible while avoiding disadvantage entirely. In order to reach this goal, you will need to know more about each state. In the neutral state, the monster's onslaught will rev up after a mighty roar. Topples, staggers, and trips are not an option during this state, so you have to counter or dodge every attack the monster throws at you. To stay in neutral, you need to understand the monster's attacks, 1 move at a time if you have to. Learning the matchup is the process of breaking down each of the monster's moves and figuring out what your response against each move is. This will convert the way you approach a hunt into a memory game. If Rathalos does X attack, you do Y attack. You can take note of a move's duration, effective range, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 hits, what moves it can combo into, and all of the status effects the monster can hit you with should it land. This will take many hunts against one monster to learn everything, roughly about 20 hunts to identify everything, and 30 more hunts to get the muscle memory in. However, monsters with similar body types often share the same kind of moves, so if you learned one monster really well, there is a solid chance that knowledge will be applicable to another monster. Whenever you get hit, you enter disadvantage. For newer players, it is a difficult situation to be thrust into since you are fighting out of the corner. Your health is low and the monster has nothing to lose by continuing its onslaught. and Elytron forbid it has a supernova attack to close out that cart. You need to learn how to avoid damage while at low health, how to heal, and how to engage the monster once you are healed. The first step is to avoid damage by relying on your knowledge of the monster and moving out of range of its attacks. This will allow you to sheath your weapon while you get ready to heal. Wait for the monster to do a laggy attack that leaves an opening afterwards so that you could safely pop a potion. Max potion and healing powders are your best bet since they are fast and instantaneous on healing, with mega potions serving as the best third option due to the amount of healing it does. If at any point the monster approaches you with an attack, move out of the way by evading or using a wire bug. Once you are topped up on health, you watch the monster for another opening and then use your attacks to engage the monster once more. If you fail to watch the monster at any point, you can get hit again and you have to heal again. Also, having a Palamute allows you to heal with mobility, making it safer in most hunts. However, with endgame sets, you gain access to Lifesteal on skills like Intrepid Heart and Berserk. You skip the heal with items entirely and stay alive long enough to heal up back to full. Intrepid Heart lets you tank one attack without having to worry about knockback. In order to lifesteal, you have to focus on broken parts, have Blood Blight active, or overcome the Bloodlust virus while Berserk's blue scroll effect is active. You have to heal more health than the amount of damage you take. Just like with normal disadvantage, you will use your reaction combos and Intrepid Heart to mitigate as much damage and knockback as possible. Once you are topped off on health and engaging the monster, you exit disadvantage. When the monster leaves an opening, the state shifts to advantage. There are short windows of advantage and long windows of advantage. Both of these are created by inflicting damage on the monster. Every monster has a public hit zone value via the Hunter Notes and Kiriniko. Your weapon and armor set output effective damage, while motion values, quest multipliers, and a monster's hit zones limit your effective damage by a percent, producing your true damage. I've shown this on the channel before, but here is the damage formula. Using this formula, you can calculate your damage beforehand. It should match the number shown in-game on a given monster using a given motion value on a given quest. The reason we want to focus on damage is because of damage thresholds. There are thresholds on each part of the monster scaling upwards with quest modifiers. Every time you hit a part, your damage is stored in that part, filling a threshold. Once a damage threshold is full for a given part, a flinch, trip, a topple, or a part break will occur depending on the condition of the part and which part is being targeted. Hitting or breaking a part can cause a flinch, a trip will only occur when hitting the legs, and topples will occur when hitting/breaking a specific part, resulting in a dramatic tumbling animation. If you fill a monster's threshold while it is in the air, that will knock it out of the sky for another window of damage. These thresholds reset after the monster stands back up, so you can fill the quote-unquote bar again to knock it over again. After part break, the hit zone values of some monsters change to reflect a broken wing or exposed stomach. Some parts can only be broken by a specific damage type in blunt, cutting, pierce, or element, but otherwise, they can all break parts throughout the hunt for most parts. Status is another type of damage that puts you in advantage. So paralysis, sleep, stun, and exhaust are commonly run to increase the number of topples you get during a hunt. You have to fill up the invisible bar to inflict any status. With the exception of stun and exhaust, they don't require you to hit specific parts to apply the status. The status built up in the threshold will decay if you don't apply status to the monster after 10 seconds on average, and each time you successfully inflict status, the threshold increases for the next successful application. Status and damage thresholds work independently, so status, stun, and part breaks can all be built up simultaneously, but there can only be one status applied at a time. So if paralysis is active, it can be overwritten by a stun, and a stun can be overwritten by a part break/topple. Not every weapon can stun, exhaust, paralyze or chloroform a monster. So part breaks are a universal way to create openings on a monster, and you use the status on a weapon by weapon basis. Do note that Elder Dragons can never be exhausted. Lastly, to optimize your various states, you have to learn good positioning since it will reduce the amount of time wasted moving to an optimal hit zone, moving out of range of an attack, or moving into a range for a counter. In short, positioning is moving in a direction where it will favor you as a hunter. Mastery over positioning takes time, which is why it's the last step. You can angle your moves and make use of side hops to target specific hit zones, use mobile options to attack and reposition against the monster, and use your wirebug silkbind attacks to zipline out of danger or into a good hit zone cluster with exaggerated range. Monster sizes affect your positioning since small monsters will cause you to miss your counters due to its decreased range, while a large monster will require you to use your defensive options more due to its increased range. Terrain factors like ledges, walls, and slopes affect your ability to hunt. You position away from these cart traps because ledges force you into a mini climb animation that cannot be cancelled. Being flung into a wall shortens your amount of recovery time, and slopes force the sliding animation if you have a sliding attack or have your weapon sheathed. All of these factors can interrupt your mechanics and give the monster an opening to cart you. Your ability to optimally position will be developed with your other fundamentals, but it will take the longest to master. Like if this video was useful to you, consider subscribing if you want to see more analysis videos like these. Comment your thoughts on the video. That's all I got for this one. Greedy Knight, signing out.